Welcome to the Xtreme BPM. My name is Mark Xtreme. We do this Tuesdays and Fridays, right? That's when we get into talking to the people that make the music on the show, and we get into the backstories of some of the songs. But that's Tuesdays and Friday. And if you want to check out the music, that is Monday to Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. East African time. We get to play the music. And if you listen to any of the songs and you're interested, which I think you should, you only have to head over to my Instagram. I always put up a playlist for every day, and you can go out and support the artists and stream them. They're all independent artists that get onto that playlist. Okay, so go support them. So this week I'm talking to an artist that has also featured on the E-Jazz Mix, and he's still featuring on the E-Jazz Mix because it wasn't just a premiere and that's it. So she's still on the E-Jazz Mix. Her name is Iris Nasser, and she's on the show right now. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ Xtreme, again. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be out there with you. We're so far away, but we're so close, right?
Technology, thanks to it. Yeah, some of the things we can be happy about, with as far as technology goes. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, of course. It's
yeah.
bringing all of us together.
And people, though sometimes technology gets on our nerves, like when we start having glitches in between here when we're getting to talk to each other. So, but welcome to the show nonetheless. How are you dealing with all this craziness that has been going on for almost a year now?
Exactly a year. You're absolutely right. Well, I think it took us all, and at least me, on a different journey of acceptance, patience, creativity, frustration, pretty much. But it definitely helped us, at least me, realize a lot of the things that we were going so fast in and we were able to actually catch up with. It's
Yeah,
a horrible place to be because it felt out of place. But at the same time, I feel like we learned so much and started creating things from where we weren't even looking at before.
yeah,
So, for instance, like you're saying, the digital part of it, we all went in and started doing these concerts, virtual concerts. Who would have thought? Like it came out great. It was a lot of interaction. People from all over the world were seeing us. Um, that's basically where I'm at right now, a year later. More of like, okay, I think we're coming out of this finally, but I don't want to lose that part that we kind of learned. I want to keep adding to that.
did you later find out how much you love staying in the house?
I love staying in the house. The only thing I didn't really enjoy at times was homeschooling. But other than that, it was a big break. And there was actually, when you would go out, there was no traffic, especially in Miami. I mean, now we are feeling it. We're back, and it's pretty hectic out there. So I did enjoy that off time. I did.
Oh, nice. So we are getting into how you got started before we get into even playing the new single. How does music get started for you? How does it get started for you in the home? Do you have anyone who is a musician at all?
I didn't hear you well. Sorry.
Now I was saying that how does music get started for you? Like in the home, do you have any musician at all, or it was you that started that off?
Yeah, no, I don't have. It was all me. Basically, I used to play classical piano growing up until about the age of 16, but I really wanted more of the modern songs and being popular, and the classical really didn't get to me at that point. So I started venturing out, and at that point there was a freestyle time. So the freestyle music, that genre, and I had a group. We had a few songs. And then I kind of detoured, stopped, had a family. But you know how it is, and you're a musician, you got to go back because you can't leave that. That's part of me. So I went back about, I'd say, good 20 years ago. I started recording again, writing songs, and I took on my first album in 2008. It's a tropical album called Tomamé, and it was actually done with an award-winning producer, which I'm so grateful for because he's the one who kind of pushed me to write my own stuff and record it. So I thank him always, Mr. Marlow Rosado. And that's how I started. I started going into the studio, writing, recording, performing at local places in Miami and festivals. And then I just continued on. I haven't stopped.
So what happened to the group then that you were in before?
Well, that old group that we were in, I was about 19 or 20. And that group basically, it was three of us. And it was like an expose kind of group. It was called Perfect Image. And well, she's still my best friend.
Hold on, hold on, hold
She's
on.
all, you want
Chill out. The group was
to go
called
into the
what?
past?
What was the name of the group?
Perfect Image. I mean, we were the perfect image back then. So, anyways, Perfect Image. And my friend, which I was telling you about, she's still my best friend. She's in High Springs, Florida, and she has a cow business. Totally different.
Cow business?
But still, I mean, yes, very interesting, huh? J&R Cattle. And I'm sure she still has it in her too. She has a cattle farm.
Yeah. So you decided to carry on, and you said you put your first album, that is in 2008.
Yes.
And you said you,
2000.
yeah. So 2008. So when you are a group, what kind of music were you making at the time?
In 2008, I was solo already
No,
because the group
when you
was
are a group.
before. When we were in the group, the songs that we were making, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
That was more 1989 time. So those were the freestyle times. And the songs we were making, the genre is freestyle. So that's basically what was going on at that time. And we were going to kind of the Miami clubs and doing that type of performance with three girls. It's kind of like Expose, Sweet Sensation. So that was that time.
Oh yeah, nice. Then you went on. When you went solo and decided to do how did then the tropical side of you come out? How did you get to that point?
At that time, I was already a little bit more influenced and a little older with, especially with what's influenced with what's going on in Miami. So I really wanted to appeal to that audience, to our audience. And I was looking around, I didn't know like the manager, producers. And then I finally said, let me stop looking around. And I met the producer that did my album. And he's like, you should write your own music. You're a great writer. And I said, you really? Okay, yeah. So I did. I did the whole album. And I wrote different, as a songwriter, we write on inspiration, on stories, on experiences.
Yeah.
So I wrote a few songs because I had friends that were going through something, and that one became like a salsa. Then I wrote a ballad. And so it's a mixture of tropical fusions, but different genres inside the same album.
All right. Now you said that you wrote about things that were going around the friends that were in your life. And I remember when I posted something on my Instagram about someone talking about their own life. And you said,
Yes.
as musicians, we do write songs about people in our life, and it's actually true. So the thing is, when do you write about what is in your life?
Okay. Things that we've experienced, right? For instance, one of the songs I wrote, of course, we've always experienced heartbreak. Everyone has. I guess I connected particularly with that story. And at that, let's say the song it's titled Sufre, which is suffer, right? So of course we want you guys to suffer. And so I wrote a song around that because my friend told me a story that had happened to her. And I kind of felt that happened to me at some point. And it just stemmed from there. Then you could have a feeling that you like someone and you want to be with them. And you just, you know what? Let me go around this and see how I can make this a story. So we've all had experiences that I'm very empathic. So I kind of have compassion and I feel other people's pain and all that. So I think that helps me being so sensitive to stories that have been alike to mine. So I'm also wrote things for children that, you know, they could help them with their, or like this one, I'm feeling myself,
Yes.
the song that I just took out. Basically, people get a second, like 2 second, like, what is she talking about? You know, I'm feeling myself, what's she doing? Well, it has nothing to do with what you're thinking. It has to
What are
do,
what are we thinking?
well, people are thinking that, you know, you're kind of feeling on yourself, but that's not, I mean, it's not what I was talking about, but okay, whatever you want to, you know, whatever floats your boat. But what I was talking about in that song is basically kind of wearing your crown and be who you are. You want to feel free. Don't let anyone bring you down. Shine your light, be positive, be beautiful. And that's, you know, kind of carry. Don't let people go on your shoulder and bring you down. That's what the song is about.
Oh yeah.
But again, if you want to interpret it in your own way, that's perfectly fine too.
I think that happens a lot sometimes because music is subjective, right? The way you can write about that and I listen to it, it gives me a different, it takes me to a different space. Because I've
Yeah,
had someone on the show who has said she wrote a song, pure fiction. She just wrote, you know, thought of characters and wrote something down because she's an actor too. And then when she
right.
played it for the friend kind of described a scenario and she said, I wasn't thinking of that, but now that's a better story.
Yes.
And
That keeps attaching to things, right?
yeah. So the question is, when do you care about what people take from your songs? Like if someone listens to a song and probably doesn't get exactly what you are trying to say, does that get to you, or you really don't? When you're done with the project and you've expressed what you wanted to say, the subjection and what people take from that is on them, not you.
I had that happen with the video. The video's not out yet, it will be. And I think you're saying songs are subjective. We all identify with things in a different way. With this particular song, there was a purpose for it, which is something that I do is also a little bit of community service and philanthropy. So I'm catering to young girls that should hear this song and have some type of affirmation.
Yes.
And I would like that. But then again, we all have to be social in the sense of social media or what's going on now. And, you know, it kind of now like it divided this part, which is, you know, kind of, so you're asking me, and yes, it is important. It is. If I could mix both then up in a way where I'm still giving a good message,
Yeah.
I do want to do that. That definitely, I need to do that. That's why the
Oh,
song was written.
oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. I think that's the thing. You know, that's usually the line, especially when you write something that you know, like what you're doing right now. It's kind of related to the community, the work, the ties you have in the community, and you would want the message to be so clear to the people that you are sending that to, and then social media changes things somehow differently, and it becomes a very interesting space to be in. All right. So now I want to ask you this though.
Exactly.
Yeah, 2008 when you had your first album out, versus I think we are frozen, but are we okay now? Can you get
I'm
me?
good. I see you.
Yeah. So
Oh,
2008,
you're frozen.
yes, 2008 when you had your first album out, and versus 2001 when you're releasing a new single too. You know, a lot of things have changed. 2008, we didn't have Spotify. We didn't have people fighting to be on playlists. You didn't have that. So now, how have you managed to adapt to that space, to releasing music in that space versus, you know, what we were dealing with in 2008?
I think it actually opened up a lot more doors. I think that moving with technology, and as I was saying, with the pandemic, you were able to reach virtually so many people that it was harder. It was harder back then, even though we were still like, we still had Facebook and we could still connect with people like through Messenger and
Yep.
get gigs that way. Um, we didn't have this big different hubs that we could go on now. So, I mean, totally different and much better now. I mean, yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, and the access has been made easier. You no longer have to deal with, like for example, now you release the song, I got it, I'm on the other side of the world. You don't need a label to get this side. You just have to put it up online.
And you know what? And we're gonna give a shout out to Submit Hub as well.
Oh yeah,
That's a
yeah, yeah, definitely.
that's something that you come across that sometimes you don't know,
Yeah,
and it's like a broker. It's like a broker for musicians. So I'm so glad that I met you through them, and other as well, that they cater to your genre, your type of music, and you expand. And I think it's great.
yeah. I really, I'm liking. Before I used to be focused into genres of music, and I would be tied into that, and I would be like, this is what I like. But then, you know, even with a lot, like two years ago, even now, when we're dealing with the pandemic this time around, we have gotten enough time, and I've sat down and I've for the last, like, even last year, I was like, why do I have to limit myself as far as the music goes? let, let me just open up and be open to listening to music as long as it's good. I don't have to limit it by the genre that it is in. And I've had a way better experience of appreciating music and even meeting different people that are different, doing different styles of music. And you find at the end of the day, it's music, okay?
Exactly. Exactly. It makes us happy. It makes us feel. It's always going to be part of us. I mean, when do you not go in a car and just turn on the station, a radio, or go online and doing stuff? It's around you all day.
Yes.
So, what's
And
your favorite genre? Like, if you didn't have this now open mind and going into all the different ones.
yeah, because I came from, I liked more of hip hop than R&B, than reggae.
Mhm.
And then I had a phase in my life where I was more into electronic music, and it's interesting. It kept turning around, and for a moment I was like, maybe I should get into electronic music and be an electronic DJ and keep it at that. And then I met someone who had DJed for more than probably 35 years and said, you know what, I don't limit myself. I just play everything as long as I get it, and I feel how it sounds and I like it. I just go with it. So I changed everything now. I again started collecting everything again, and I've not looked back ever since. Best decision I did probably.
Excellent. Great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So that's why you see I have like an appreciation. I usually tell people that everything I give time. I have to do many shows in the day, but I still
Mhm.
I still have to spare probably an hour each day to check out new stuff that has been sent to me, and I check it out myself. I don't have to send someone else to do it for me. But people never believe me that I do that. And I'm
No,
like,
it's a lot.
yeah, I'm like, I do that myself. I wake up in the morning, do a morning show 6 to 10, which means I have to wake up at 5 or 4:30, and
Oh.
then I leave and then do the mix, which I do with the playlist at 1 to 2, and then I have to schedule these interviews. We do that later on, get edited by myself too, that get aired on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then I have on Friday, I have to do another 3 hour mix show for a station in Atlanta. And then I have to do another mix show on Saturday night for 3 hours, 7 to 10, and I'm
When
still
did you leave?
and I and I yeah. So that's it's crazy, but I still make sure that I spare time every day to check out music and check out new artists and do that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah. So what happens this time around? With releasing music, what space are you in? Are you looking at making projects, or like the streaming platforms have decided to dictate you're putting out singles? That's it.
That's basically it. Every couple of months, every 2 to 3 months, I come back with another song. Another baby's born. I'm already thinking, okay, summer's coming. We need a summer song. We need to get Caribbean and some other fusion that I'm trying to put together, and looking for this musician that I know. So it's just there all the time. That part of creativity for me. I can't stop. I love it.
Yeah, and I like that. That you allow yourself to fuse with different styles of music, and come up together with something? When did that start for you, or what even sparked that?
I think, as even my own personality, I love networking and bringing this one, meeting this one, and connecting people together. And we are a melting pot down here. So I love ballads and being romantic, but I also love dancing. So I said, I can't just do one like romantic or stay like Sade, like I need to come out and play a little bit and then maybe come back.
Yeah.
So it's always been something that I've done. That's why my first album had so many different ideas, I guess, or stories, and it was tropical, but it then had also ballads. And then the second one, I tried to be a little more a straight line. So it had a jazz and a blues.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because you are classically trained in piano, right?
Yes, I was classically trained playing Beethoven and Mozart and Bach. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to be, dancing and singing.
Yeah, and how did the two projects, as far as having them out there, what did those do for you? Because you have tropical on this side, the tropical fusion on this side, and then you're going back to doing jazz and blues. What was the reception? What did you find out?
Well, I found that in the tropical genre here in Miami, it's more called for than the other part where I maybe wasn't as involved in that because I was looking and meeting more people in the tropical genre. So it was a little harder to get that voice out there and be kind of acknowledged as a jazz and blues singer when you have this going on in the past. But then again, there's avenues for everything because as a songwriter, you have that independence to do anything that you please, with. And that's basically, maybe that's where the category I fall in. But it is a little, I'm not labeled as either a tropical or a jazz or a blues. That's basically, I'm, kind of with all types of music.
Yeah.
And now I want to do something with, let's say, a flamenco with something else, which I've done. So I want to bring in other elements and other beats. So there goes, another.
And I this is something that interests me sometimes, because we all have what keeps us motivated when we are doing, especially when you're doing something that you like, let's say like music. What keeps you motivated to keep creating, to keep making music, to keep even experimenting? What gives you that drive?
Sometimes when you feel like, oh, this isn't going for me, music, and music is so frustrating sometimes that you don't feel anybody's listening. And then I say, I'm not going to do this anymore. But then I go, but what else? I don't know anything else. This is what I love. I I enjoy it so much that I don't think I could just cut that cord. It's part of me. So the motivation is something that's innate, that is inside of me. That's my soul, my passion.
Yeah,
And I don't think I could stop. It's just creating this is part of me.
I
So
think
I guess I'm always motivated.
yeah, I think anyone that is a musician that has done music for a while can attest to that. There are times where you feel like no one is listening. Even us in radio, or even as a DJ, there are times where you feel like, oh no, I think I should give this up. You go to bed knowing that I need another alternative right now, and then probably someone texts you later on and then says, oh no, I like this part, or can you do more of this? And then you're like, oh, I'm back now.
I'm back. Yeah, you just need just someone to just, hey, you're doing, I like it. But yeah, I think we're all go through it, especially with this whole year. It's been easier to get known and to be able to perform out out of gigs. So sometimes you have a circle, right? And that circle is the only ones that you see kind of moving along, at least here in Miami. And then you're trying to get in, but this gave an opportunity for everyone now to be
Yeah.
able to be seen and heard. So
Yeah, that's. I think people should. At first, we didn't know what would happen with or how long we would keep in indoors, and everyone was afraid of that. But I think when we went to 3 months, 4 months, people it started to sink in, and then you start figuring out, okay, how am I going to keep moving during this space now? and then
yeah.
you and then you look at how, like, right now, reaching out, having your music across, and you find that, now we have time to listen, to get feedback, to communicate. Because what I was going to ask you again is, how are you taking feedback in? Because before, it's easy to perform and check out the reception with how people receive the music. Now it has to be dependent on what comment I write down on your song, or what message I send you. And how are you, how did you adapt into that space?
Actually, it was, I did a concert in October, a virtual concert, and it was pretty interactive. A lot of people, like I announced it ahead of time, and actual people were waiting, and they chimed in and they came in. So it was different, definitely, but very personal, because you would get them right away, each and every person coming in saying, oh, I love that song, oh, I love what you did, and then that keeps you like motivated. And it's a one-on-one with people, more
Yeah.
than when you have a bunch seat watching you, and then that's it. The next, let's see when she's gonna play next. So it 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 was good. I think it was good.
And they pay attention more because we are all on our devices.
You're all relaxed watching it. It was it's called Wind Down Wednesdays.
Oh,
So we did it on a Wednesday. Everyone, I was like asking everyone to pull your drinks up. It was really cool. It was really, really nice.
yeah, that's interesting. I think it's a good place for people to keep exploiting, keep the interaction, because the moment you keep the interaction, the creativity keeps boiling up.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep getting different opinions from people, and then that enhances your performance as far as creating goes. Yeah. So we are going to have to play the single on our way out. But first, how can people find out your albums? Where can they find them if they want to stream your music?
Thank you. Well, you can find me definitely on Spotify now,
Yep.
on Xtreme's playlist. Yay!
Yes.
And well, I'm Iris Nasser Music, and I have a page on Instagram and on Facebook. On YouTube, I have my channel as well, and Spotify. Does Pandora still exist?
Uh,
I'm
uh,
kidding.
don't play with
Pandora.
Pandora at all.
All digital platforms. You can find Iris Nasser in all digital platforms. And I'm in Miami, and I hope that I get a lot of fans from your country. And are they sleeping now? No, it's 7 p.m. Is everyone sleeping there?
Nah, they don't sleep at 7.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, seriously. So and then that how many albums do you have out?
I have 2 albums.
2 albums. That is, one is the jazz and blues, and the other one is a tropical fusion. You have a lot of things in there.
Exactly, a fusion tropical.
And I'm feeling myself has a little bit of reggae influences to it too.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
And I was like, I'm feeling myself, which is the single we are going to play, has a little bit of reggae influences in there.
It does. I wanted it like that. I wanted it to be very a reggae song. I went with a funk producer that has a funk reggae group here in Miami, and I felt, well, you know what, you could probably do a good job here mixing and doing the melodies for it. And that's basically my target was that, and some trumpets in the background to kind of tie it in to that kind of jazzy feel that I kind of want to keep on with. So that's why I fused both together. And I wanted that airy kind of feeling as well, to be out and just feeling the music and the beat.
Yeah, guys, I'm feeling myself is out right now. That's what we are playing on our way out, and that is coming in from Iris Nasser. Right? Go check out on our social media platforms and follow upstream the back catalog. Support that, all right? And thank you so much. It's been great hanging out with you.
Great hanging out with you too. Thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening.
And yours, you're getting to the afternoon, so hope you have a good one too.
I'm already in the afternoon. Yes,
Yeah,
you're right. Lunchtime.
exactly. So thank you so much. And guys, on the Extreme BPM, we are playing I'm Feeling Myself, coming in from Iris Nasser, and she wants you to take this song serious, guys. Okay,
Here's a selfie with you, DJ Xtreme. A selfie.
let's go now. All right.
Let's do a selfie with Mr. DJ Xtreme right there. Yay!
All right.
So cool.
Yeah. So guys, on the Extreme BPM, that's about it. All right. We shall be back when we are back.